Hello guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Pathfinder. Now I'm going to be straight up. For all of you Pathfinder mains, this character gets slept on, and you know. But little do people know that he's the highest skill ceiling character in the game, and the people that actually put time into him are going to become the better players when the meta evolves. Now today guys, I'm going to give you the best tips that I learned about Pathfinder. Now I'm sorry I took so long in this video, but I want to make sure that I play the character and learn as much as I can so I can give you guys the best tips possible. Alright guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Okay, so now we're going to start with Pathfinder's passive ability, which is Insider Knowledge. This passive lets you find the next circle in the ring using beacons that are located on the map. So this is helpful for obvious reasons, but there's new tactics that you can use that will actually help you get higher kill gains and even better loot. One tip that a lot of people actually don't know is after looting one or two places, the rest of your loot should come from bodies, not actual places that you search. Now with this in mind, knowing where the next hill is going to be is going to give you the chance to block off paths of people that are coming in from outside the circle. Once you know where people are going to come from, you can then ambush them and take all the loot you need. Now, if you want high kill games, this is probably the best tactic to use since you're going to run into a lot more people if you know the paths they're going to take into the circle. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the better players like Shroud and Dizzy actually get higher kill games because they know the rotations and they know the paths that teams are going to take, giving them the option to run into even more teams than normal. Now just note that even though you know where the ring is, it can help you in the long run, but most of these beacons are going to be on top of buildings, which means that you're going to be easily seen by enemies. So if you don't want to run into people, then you don't need to get these because they're going to put you at a higher risk of getting seen. Okay guys, so now we're going to get into his tactical ability, which is Grappling Hook. Now let me tell you straight up, this tactical ability is probably the hardest one to use in the game. It's not just to press a button and do something. You actually have to learn the mechanics and learn how to work your way around the map using this hook. Now you shouldn't let this skill gap discourage you, however. There is no other legend that can move like Pathfinder as of now, so learning to master his claw and learning to move around the map freely will give you a big advantage. Now the first tip I'm going to give you is how to hook to give you forward momentum. Now this is probably the simplest hook that you can do in the game. It's not too difficult, and after a few times your muscle memory will kick in and you'll learn how to do it almost naturally. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is run and hook in front of you as far as you can. As soon as the hook sinks into the floor, you have to jump, and that way the rope will carry you forward and take you about 10 feet in front of you. After you launch, you want to make sure that you land on your knees to keep that forward momentum and get you as far as you can. This is honestly what I consider Pathfinder's bread and butter. Unlike other legends, his ult and tactical ability actually have a really low charge, so the claw will almost always be available if you notice it. So don't forget to use it. Whenever I use Pathfinder, I kind of forget that he has a low cooldown on his abilities, so I tend not to use them as much, but once you get into the rhythm and once you play the character a lot more, you'll kind of get used to it. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to swing around buildings and around other obstacles. Unlike his forward momentum, whenever you want to swing around something, you're going to have to use your camera, and you're also going to have to use your movement to be able to change the direction of which way you're going. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hook onto something that's high and kind of far from you. Once the hook lands, you're going to want to make sure you jump and you tilt your camera away from the rope. So the rope should always be to your left or to your right. Keeping the rope at a 90-degree angle like this will increase the momentum and shoot you as far as you possibly can without letting go. Okay, so the best tip that I can give you for this is to try to use it to get away from people. Whenever you're super hurt, people tend to chase you, and the best way to lose somebody is to go around corners and try to lose track of them. This hook will actually give you a big advantage because you'll be able to hook around corners way faster than you can just run around them. This means that the person will lose track of you if you do this correctly, and it's almost a guaranteed escape if you're far enough from that enemy. Now Pathfinder can also hook onto ceilings. Ceilings will give you more of a Tarzan kind of swing, and it's not too useful since there's not a lot of places you can do it. Inside buildings usually isn't a good idea since the roof is kind of too low, but this is a good tactic when you're in the caverns or in caves. This is a good way to get around and catch your enemy off guard. So like I said before, Pathfinder is amazing, and once you get his mechanics down, there's no other legend that moves like him. This means that you can catch people off guard so easily because they don't expect you to push as fast as you do. One other tip that a lot of people don't know is that you can hook enemies. Of course, hooking an enemy is kind of situational. You're not always going to use it. But one thing that I really noticed, and I was not able to capture this footage, and I'm sorry about that, but you can actually hook down enemies. Now, hooking a down enemy may seem like it's useless, but it can actually help you if you do it at the right time. If you down somebody and you know that they're going to get behind cover, possibly for a revive or their teammates are around, you might not have enough time to finish them before they get back into cover. Now this is the time that you want to hook them and bring them your way before they get into cover and before they get revived. That way you can finish the kill and you don't have to worry about that enemy anymore. Now like I said, this is very situational. You're not always going to use this, and hooking an opponent is probably not the best thing to do most of the time. But early game, or maybe late game if you have a shotgun and you can just insta pump somebody down with a mastiff, then it might come in handy. So make sure you keep that in mind. Now, if you do want to play Pathfinder, the best tip I can give you for the grapple at all is to be patient. Once you master it, you're going to become such a good player, and you're going to be just one of the biggest slayers on the team because you can just get to people that other people can't get to. If you down someone or you're able to hurt someone, you can chase them down and there's no escaping. Okay, and the last tip I'm going to give you for the grappling hook is to go for height advantage. You have to use this hook to get on top of people. In any shooting game, especially BRs, being on top will grant you the win like 70% of the time. Now, I'm just blowing that number out of my ass, but I would bet money on it that 70% of the time, the people on top win. So make sure that you use this hook to get the height you need to take down any team. Okay guys, now we're going to get into Pathfinder's ultimate, which is Zipline. Now, Zipline is actually the lowest cooldown ultimate in the game. You'll get it almost 2 or 3 minutes after you use it, so make sure that you use it when you have it. Hoarding out on this ult is just killing utility that you could be using since you get it almost right away. Now, the most obvious way that you're going to want to use this ult is to use it to get out of the zone and not take damage. Now, this can be whether you just don't make it to the circle in time because you landed somewhere far, or it could be that you just finished a team fight and you want to loot but you don't want to take damage. This gives you a perfect escape option, that way you can get what you need from the loot boxes and make it into the zone as fast as possible. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that your zipline will actually stay up even after you use it. So if you're coming into the zone, or if you're moving to a new area, make sure to keep an eye on your zipline just in case another team wants to use it and come up behind you. Okay, now I'm going to give you the most important tip that you can learn as Pathfinder, and that's using your ultimate to get high ground for your team. Now, for example, say if you see a team and they don't notice you, the first thing you're going to want to do is use your grapple ultimate to get your entire team onto the high ground, and that'll give you the biggest advantage in the world. Whenever you're Pathfinder, you have to play smart and you have to play patient, and you have to recognize these opportunities to get a flank on a team. Sometimes the best thing not to do is fight, and even though a lot of you, including myself, want to get high kill games and want to do nothing but kill, sometimes the smartest thing to come up on top is to take a strat that's going to work out and higher your chances of winning. Now, of course, this is situational, and you're going to have to make up your mind if you want to use this strat or not. For example, if the team is too close, you might hear the zipline and it might not be worth it. But if you're far enough and you have a sniper or two on your team, this might be the strat that you want to go for. Now, one side note that you want to keep in mind is that you can actually cancel your zipline, which a lot of people don't know about. Everyone knows that you can jump off a zipline. If you press the jump button while you're gliding, of course you can jump off the rope. But if you jump 180 and then press the zipline button again, you can actually change direction and go the opposite way. And a lot of people don't know that. You can either cancel if you see that you're going to run into a team, or you can use this as a way of scoping out for new enemies. If the zipline is high enough, you can look for new targets and look for new people to kill. And that's honestly the most beautiful thing about Pathfinder, is that he's the most creative legend. It's up to you to know what his limits are. And sometimes you're going to see things that people come up with this character that are just going to blow you away. If you've been on Reddit lately, for example, you'll see videos of people 316 spinning with their grapple hook around somebody and killing them for the final kill, and it's crazy. And this character is going to push the meta. The people that are focusing on Pathfinder now are going to become the better players later on in the meta for sure. So if you're somebody that wants to main Pathfinder, you want to make sure that you have a lot of patience and you want to practice all of your mechanics. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to go in and play the game. If you want, you can just join into a game with your friends if they're okay with it, and you can just practice your mechanics. Practice how his hook works, how his ultimate works, how far, you have to learn how far your hook can go, how far your ultimate can go. And eventually you'll start getting used to it, and the muscle memory will just hit you, and you'll just be really, really good at them. Alright guys, well that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all enjoyed the tips and got something out of it. My next legend is going to be Caustic, which is one of my favorites, so I cannot wait to upload that. So yeah guys, that's about it for today. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you sub if you haven't already so you won't miss any of my future content. There's going to be some new legends coming next month, and I'm definitely going to make a guide for them, so stay tuned for that. And yeah guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy guys.
Did you get the kill on the robot?
No, I didn't. Wait.
You might have had the revive.
One more.
Oh, you killed him?
No, one more.
Where's the robot?
Where is he?
Right by me.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice!
What's good?
He would have rescued me. Fuck. Nice job.
Oh, I went for the 360. Let's go with the fucking thing. Whatever I had.